Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by. Welcome to the Product Management View webinar series. During the presentation, all participants will be in a listen-only mode. If you would like to ask a question during the presentation, please use the chat feature located in the lower left corner of your screen. If you need to reach an operator, simply press star followed by the 0. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded Wednesday, February 9th, 2011. It is now my pleasure to turn the conference over to Val Workman. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Tina. To those participating through ReadyTalk, Twitter, and those who will be reviewing this webinar as a podcast or flash presentation later, hello. I'd like to welcome you to this new session of the Product Management View series. I'm Val Workman from Alignment Technology Solutions, which is one of the sponsors of this webinar. If you'd like to present in this webinar series or propose a new topic, please feel free to start a new discussion in the Grandview community and watch it develop, and hopefully we'll be able to bring that to the webinar position. The PMV is all about distributing the shared experiences of the members within our open product management community, and today the PMV is the world's largest free repository of product management recordings. Today it's my pleasure to welcome April Dunford, blogger at the Rocket Watcher, product marketing for Startup. And that's been going on now for, I think, about 3 years, April had told me. And the exciting thing is it's a first-class blog, eh? And it won the PDMA award a few years back, and certainly something to go out and watch. She has a current posting discussing inbound marketing and product marketing, or versus product marketing, and so definitely a flair for the controversy. And she'll be presenting today's webinar on Marketing is Dead, along with product marketing. And I know that won't produce any more controversy, right? Well, for those of you who are using Twitter, you can follow and add additional conversation and questions using the Twitter hashtag #PMV during this webinar, and continue conversation about this webinar on the Grandview community blog afterwards, where April will be posting. I'd encourage you to make comments and ask additional questions at April's posting as well. I'll also be collecting questions throughout this presentation to address during the question and answer session at the end of this webinar. Please feel free to send the questions and comments to me in the chat in the lower left corner of the ReadyTalk interface, and we'll try to respond to them. I'm now going to pass the control over to April to kick off this presentation. April?
That's awesome. Thanks a lot. So first of all, thanks everybody for coming. I know everybody's probably on lunch and stuff, and it's not easy to set aside an hour of your day to come hear somebody blab about something, so I appreciate it. This talk is a modified version of a talk I first gave at Product Camp in Amsterdam. And so unless there's a bunch of you here from Amsterdam, you probably haven't heard this talk before. I've never done it as a webinar, so we'll see if it works on a webinar the same way it does when it's live in front of an audience. So this talk is kind of about the changing nature of marketing and what that means for product marketing in particular. So I usually start these talks with a little bit of this is why you should pay attention to me. So this is my background a little bit. I've worked at a bunch of big companies. I worked at IBM for a while. I can see some IBMers are on the line. I launched this thing called InfoSphere. Back then it was called IBM Information Integrator. We grew that from zero to about a $250 million business in a couple of years. I was worldwide head of marketing for financial services products at Siebel for a while. I was the head of incubation at Nortel, which was a really fun job until they went broke. And I've worked at a bunch of startups. InfoBright was one in the database space. I worked at this company Datamir, which got acquired by IBM. And I worked at Jana Systems, which was a huge acquisition in the bubble. I ran product marketing for them. We got acquired for $1.4 billion, which at the time was the biggest exit ever in Canadian history. And then SolarSoft, which is not really a startup, but more like a conglomeration of 6 different startups, and has some kind of startup-y problems. But that's kind of my background and where I'm from. So what I want to talk about today is sort of what's changing in marketing, and kind of my premise in this talk is that marketing sucks. People don't like marketing, and there's lots of good reasons to not like marketing. So traditional marketing, when you look at it, is there's lots of things about it that are terrible. So the first one is that it's kind of untargeted and generic. So, traditional marketing is kind of like TV ads. We're just going to throw it out there, and we hope that some people